Well, good morning, everybody. This is Tracy and Mike. We're coming to you here live on the podcast, episode 2 of what I call Dancing Around the Mulberry Tree. And we have the beverage, the Rafa Maya beverages that we're launching here. And we're putting out the podcast just to get some folks in here. We're talking about fruit and nutrition. And can you see the background there, Mike? Do you see
Yes,
what
I
I did
can
there?
actually. Yeah.
What do you think? I found it. I found this. I had this. I have like 15,000 digital assets somewhere, and this I wanted for a background because this is the fruit. Because this is what we're talking about.
Yeah. Looks like
So
possibly pomegranate, white mulberry, and blueberries. Is that what I'm looking at? It's hard to.
yeah, the other ones it's not pomegranate, but I'll tell you what that one is. But the other two, yeah, that's mulberry and blueberry.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to fix the place up a little bit here. And the reason I did that, do you know why I did that?
No, I don't.
We have company coming today.
We do.
We do. Okay. Do you in the first podcast I tell you I had a friend of mine from back in Connecticut I've known for a long, long time.
Yes.
Really, really good friend of mine. I was trying to get him on the podcast. Well, guess what?
You found him,
He's here.
or he found you? One of the two.
We found it. Yeah, I found him.
Good.
Okay, so we're gonna bring him in here. Okay, so I want you to meet him. I'll introduce you. This is my friend Chip. Hey,
Hello.
hey, hi.
Hey, Chip.
Greetings from the Canadian Maritimes.
Oh, good. Yes. Good.
Gone from
It's
being
it's
the
good
Connecticut
afternoon.
to Canada. I was going to use
Nova
the other
Scotia.
thing, but
I took a wrong turn in Maine,
yes,
and here I am. So
there you go. But
That's
you don't.
fantastic.
You still don't say "a," do you?
not yet, not
Okay.
yet.
Well,
Well,
welcome to the broadcast, Chip.
Well, thank you very much. I was really impressed with your first podcast. Tracy, you had a lot of information about the culinary medicinal connection correlation, and
Yes.
you recently got a diploma from, was it Columbia?
Cornell.
Cornell. I know it began with a
Who'd
C,
have
but
thought, right after all the
yeah.
years.
Could you tell me about that just a little bit?
The Cornell University. Oh my goodness. There were national nutritionists that were there. They're known nationally.
Mhm.
Like they put out these huge programs, and they're so in. They have so much knowledge about how fruit and vegetables and things like that, and fruit specifically, for my purposes, work to heal the body. How to they transition people off of medication.
Mhm.
A lot of these folks that were giving the lectures there, they transition people off of medication that they get from their doctors into food, and it heals some of the ailments that they have. I mean, I was blown away. I was amazed. I didn't expect to learn all of this. That fruit has such a tremendous impact. I mean, this
Yeah.
tiny little beverage, this tiny little 2-ounce bottle comes up, and I've been doing this and everything, and I knew it was good, and I never knew why, Chip.
Yeah.
I never knew why until just that's recent. I never knew why.
Mhm.
I
So
looked
Eh,
at the Cornell program yesterday,
mhm.
did
and
you?
but they have so many nutrition-based, plant-based, food-based programs. Which
Yes.
one were you in? Which
I did the
certificate?
plant. I did plant-based nutrition
Okay,
because
Mhm.
I deal with plants.
right.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
they talk a lot about meats and fish and stuff like that. But one of the biggest thing I learned is because a lot of people want to be plant-based completely
Mhm.
and make this lifestyle change. I know we touched on that last week, Mike, right?
Yeah.
Well,
We
I'll
have
be right
meat.
back.
I love it. That's all right. Chip and I have tons to talk about. Well,
Folks should know that this is not a live studio. We're in our homes, basically,
well, they
and
know that.
so if the doorbells ring or people knock on the door or
Dogs
dogs bark,
bark. Yeah.
it's not part of the program, but But here we be.
Oh, we're
So
real people. We keep
we
it
are.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike had to go, answer the door or something.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I was gonna say to Mike, and I'll probably just wait until he comes back, but I wanted to comment on some of his points that he made in the last podcast.
Oh, I know.
And
You sent me a whole list of comments.
yeah,
Well,
it's
you know what? Just come on the show. Just come on the podcast and let's talk about it.
he's a walking encyclopedia. He's got
Isn't he? Yeah.
he is. It's amazing. And
Yeah.
so but anyway, if you notice that my hair is plastered to my forehead, it is hot and humid.
Yeah. What are
And
you
so,
doing out there in Nova Scotia today?
well, I'm just I'm on ice water.
Oh,
And
good.
they get it really slow. It's this heat wave. I thought it was going to break last night, but apparently not. Um, but
Well,
so
let's do
here
some
we
chatting
are.
here. I mean, Mike's going to be back in a minute here, but
Yeah. Well,
why
tell
don't
me a
you take
little
a
bit
minute
more
and
about
what
what the curriculum was like
hold
at Cornell.
on. We want to hear about you. Why don't you, tell us about you a little bit. So, I mean, I'm hoping that you'll come on here regularly. So,
Well, from time to
let's give
time,
folks
I
a
might.
little bit of background of who you are.
Well, I was born and lived in Connecticut. All my life. I spent a little bit of time in the military, and then um, I left my career, moved up here to Nova Scotia, and have a house here. If I look out the window, I can see the dividing line between the Bay of Fundy and the Gulf of Maine. So
It's a nice
we're
view.
really on that dividing line. So also out the window, I can see Briar Island, which was the home of the first person that circumnavigated the globe. But anyway, I see that Mike is back, and Mike, I was telling Tracy, you're a walking encyclopedia. I never knew that there was two types of vitamin B12. I never knew that your different areas of your digestive tract absorb different minerals, vitamins, proteins,
Yep.
and I did not know that liquids are more efficiently absorbed into your system than solids. And I have some
Yes.
questions about that a little later. But today I thought I'd be the student because you guys obviously have a knowledge base here, and I do not. But I kind of
Oh,
have questions.
Mike, we're going to have a pop quiz.
Uh-oh.
We are
Did you
we are
study?
a little late, but not yet.
I'm just going to make
So-
stuff up. I want you to know that. I'm just going to make stuff up.
Choose C.
which is what I do. So
C is always the choice. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
anyway, so really, I wanted to ask questions about two different areas. One about the flavor of your product,
Mhm.
and the other about various uses of the product. And Mike, I was in the grocery store on Sunday, and I was talking to Tracy after that. Remember the days when we had salad dressing? It was French, ranch, or Italian.
Yeah.
Well, I made some notes. Here's what they got now: buttermilk, elderberry, honey mustard, avocado, honey ginger, blueberry, ice cream. Remember vanilla, chocolate, and
Ice
strawberry?
cream flavored salad dressing?
No, I'm just saying. Now I'm talking about ice cream.
Okay.
I just mentioned
Okay. You're jumping.
ice, in the ice cream aisle. We've got apple bacon.
I was
Apple
wondering
bacon.
where I was going to get ice cream flavored salad. I'm sorry. I got it.
Apple bacon. Okay. Where am I here? Let's see. Banana, beer, chocolate whiskey, crab, Earl Grey, garlic. So what has happened? This is over decades. Is that the beverage and food producers have found out that their market becomes static, and they need a competitive edge. So what they do, they come up with a new flavor, and it's like the flavor du jour, and it's just exploding. And I wanted to ask Tracy, how does that fit into that paradigm fit into your product in terms
Oh,
of
I got a good answer for that. See, I didn't have to study for this.
no.
Well, see,
The-
here's my first comment.
mhm.
And this I take this very seriously to heart. Okay. And this really is what sets me apart from anyone you're gonna just about everything you're gonna find in the grocery store. Because you can't find it. Um, a lot of these products, when you go in the grocery store and you're walking up and down those aisles and they say it's pick a flavor, strawberry flavor, anything, right? Because that's old. Strawberries have around forever. Everybody knows it. It's not real strawberry. It's not real. It's
Mhm.
they go into a lab and they take these chemicals and they take the it's chemistry.
Mhm.
And they take the chemical. It's online. I mean, you can even see this online. I've gotten all the chemistry things. H2O for water, right? And then you've got all this chemical compound. So what they did is they analyzed what a strawberry really looks like and tastes like, and then they went over and they say, well, you know what? We can find the H over here, and we can find another H over there. So we got two of those, right? And then we'll go over here and we'll find it. Oh, well, you know where they're finding? Let's just say H2O because everybody knows that's water, right? Because a big chemical formula is going to be a lot longer for strawberry or different. But you know where they got the first H? Let's say, for example, they got that from a fish. They took it out of a fish. They said, "Oh, look, fish contains that one. Let's take an H from there." But there's not a lot, so we gotta let's get another H over here. And they went over and they were picking tulips, and they grabbed a tulip and they said, "Look, here's another H. We got two H's, yay!" And then they went over some other goofy whatever place and they said, we finally found the O, and they put that together, and it's not water. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
trying to break this.
Y-
I had to
y-
try and figure out how to understand this, but it's a
y-
chemistry, and they create a flavor, and then they walk over and they say, let's just put a cup. They take a little dropper and they say, let's squirt that in there 3 times, and it tastes like strawberry.
You
And
know,
they have taste
y-
tests,
yeah.
and they go, yeah, it tastes like strawberry. Blind taste, it tastes like strawberry. That is what you're buying in the grocery store. When it says artificial flavor, that's what you're buying.
You just stepped right into the next question that I had for Mike. Mike, when you go into the store and you look at a label of ingredients for, let's say, cranberry juice, what don't you want to see on that ingredients label?
Anything but cranberry juice. You, I mean, really,
Okay, yeah.
when it comes right
Uh,
down to it, on a label, the shorter the label, the better. Unless you've got a very complex product that contains, for instance, like our beverage contains a fair amount of fruits, and so it's going to be
uh,
a little bit longer. But what you don't want to see is um, chemical names that you can't even pronounce. Although some companies will put the chemical name for the plant extract that they're using, and that confuses some
uh,
people. But what they'll usually do is put in parentheses after that, you know, like lavender or whatever it is. So what you want is a short label of things that you can pronounce, and you want the product. For instance, if it's orange juice, you don't want to see water as the first ingredient. The ingredients, at least in the United States, are listed in order of the amount that's in there. So if water is the
yeah.
first ingredient, then
Mhm.
there's more water than anything else in that product. I look at that even with like my laundry soap. I buy a highly concentrated laundry soap where water is not the first ingredient. I don't want to
Mhm.
pay for somebody else's water when I can add it myself.
What specifically don't you want to see on that label?
I don't want to see
Corn syrup, for example, is that something you want to
high
see on the label?
fructose corn syrup is like poison in my mind.
Uh-huh.
You don't want to see a lot of chemical preservatives. There are some preservatives in some products are necessary
Mhm.
depending on the product, but you don't want to see a lot of that. You want on a food product, anything that's been pasteurized has been heat pasteurized, which is the way most pasteurization is done.
I have a novel pasteurization.
Yes, you do,
I just
and
wanna
that's why I brought that up. But heat actually kills
I like you.
the enzymes in food. So if you're heating up your broccoli, let's say, you're actually killing the enzymes that help your body to digest and absorb the nutrients. So you want to avoid some of that. Now, things like milk, pasteurization is very important because of sanitary reasons. But in a product like ours, with Tracy's novel pasteurization process that doesn't destroy the enzymes in the process, you're still getting the whole product. I mean, it's one thing to eat blueberry mush. It's another thing to eat the whole blueberry, because we don't know as humans what's in that blueberry. We might know, for instance, that the proanthocyanidins that are in there are good for they're really good for your eyes, etc. But we don't know what else is in that blueberry that might add to that.
You know, I'm going to jump in here real quick here, because I was thinking of a word that we didn't even, in our hour and 40-minute whatever podcast we did last time.
Marathon.
Superfood. The marathon. I know. I learned a lot from that. That was my first podcast. I'm learning. Yep. The superfruit. That's now mulberry is considered a superfruit.
Yes.
And that's something that they use. Everybody talks about a superfruit. And why though? Because it does so many amazing things in your system and for you to keep you healthy. Yep. But also blueberry.
Blueberry's huge.
Is another superfruit. Guess what is the first ingredient listed in the Alex's Mana? I got to do this here. It's the little 2-ounce bottle. And on my nutrition label, which is right here, you're not going to be able to see that here. But what's the first ingredient on my label? Mulberry.
Yep.
What's the second one? Take a guess.
It's got to be blueberry.
It is blueberry.
Yeah.
And people say it tastes like grape. It tastes like date, fig. I've heard everything. No one ever guesses mulberry. No one can even guess the blueberry. And I would have figured everyone would call it blueberry. No one can identify it.
Well, that's partially because when people eat blueberry flavored stuff, it doesn't taste like a blueberry. Now, when I was a kid, one of my favorite things to do is I would go blueberry picking with my mom. And you and I had talked about this. And my mom would freeze the blueberries. She'd just rinse them off and then freeze them. And that was my candy. I would eat handfuls of frozen blueberries. So I know what a real blueberry tastes like. But if you go get, blueberry cereal that's supposed to be blueberry flavored.
The blueberry with the ghost.
Yeah, you remember that? The blueberry, Count Chocula.
The funny thing, I don't like blueberries. I gotta be 100% honest here. I don't like it. I don't like. Specifically, I won't eat blueberries. I don't eat strawberries either, but that's only because like those little seeds get on my tongue and they freak me out. That's a stupid thing. I don't know. But I love this. The flavor is so unique on this. It changes. The recipe on this, and it's just, you don't know it's blueberry. No one knows it's blueberry, and no one knows what. But yeah, I have a theory, Chip. I have a theory on this, and talking about flavors and artificial is such an important point, is because I think one of the reasons that no one can recognize the flavors that's in the beverage is because everyone is so used to the artificial. They don't recognize the real thing.
And I have to point out too, I recently got some vanilla extract, and there's two types. One was artificial, one was real, and the price differential was huge. Yep. So you're going to find a product, a juice product that looks inexpensive, and it is inexpensive, but that's because it has artificial ingredients. I have a bottle here. I'm going to put my glasses on. Of a well-known
show and tell. Mike, we have show and tell today too.
I can't show you the label, but I'm going to read.
Oh yeah,
This is
we plug
this is
all kinds of goofy stuff.
this
in.
yeah.
Go ahead.
This is a really well-known. It's a cranberry. Okay, it has. Let's see, what's malic acid?
Malic acid.
Yeah, that's often used as a. It gives it a little tartness.
Okay, so is that artificial?
Depends on the company.
Yeah,
I
depends.
see.
Yeah.
What about Allura Red?
That is a dye and is most likely artificial.
What about Brilliant Blue?
Same.
What about, okay, you got to help me out here. Uh, Acetylflam potassium.
Oh,
Ace.
acetyl same. Yeah, that's an artificial
Not even
sweetener that
close.
has potassium and some other
Okay,
junk in it.
so this is a very well-known, probably a top of the line, probably the most expensive cranberry juice that you can get.
Mhm.
Do you have these things in your beverage, Tracy?
Yeah, I do.
Huh?
I have 30 recipes in total. Now this first one is the first one to launch. This is I'd say that the first 5 recipes is what came to light. And then in putting the business together, you got to get the bottling, the packaging, and hermetically sealing and all this other stuff because
Mhm.
I have to make sure if I ship. Well, I can't ship to Nova Scotia. I
It's
don't. I
Canada,
only ship. I know. I
foreign
only ship
country.
domestic. Well, when you go back home to Connecticut,
Yes.
there'll be a huge, box sitting there. The gift box. I'm going to jump off here for a second, a topic, and I'll come back to. He's the one. Where am I pointing? He's the one that told me to make the gift box. So thank you.
Good idea. That was a good
It
idea.
is a thank
Yeah.
you, but
Before we end today, I was going to ask you,
yeah, I know we're getting there.
Tracy, if you could show the folks some of your glassware. You showed me something the other day from Turkey, but maybe towards the end of the program, you
Oh,
can.
Look at
Well,
this.
there you go. Okay.
I did something. I wanted to try this today.
Hmm.
Look what I did.
Yeah.
You see that? That's
Perfect.
the bottle. That's
There you
all
go.
it says on it. And
Yeah.
I didn't intend to actually click on the picture so fast there, but
Mhm.
that came right up. But you know what? I have a whole slide here. You know what? We like to have a lot of fun here too. And guess what I found a picture of, Chip?
Uh-oh.
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 You never know with
Ooh.
Tracy.
No,
If
actually.
you're not careful, I'm digging out the high school yearbook, Tracy.
Yeah. Don't we know? Don't we know?
I have them, Mike. I could get your freshman year.
Oh, I've got it right here. I've got it right just in case.
Oh, he's gonna he's ready to hold it up. What?
Right here.
Oh boy, better look down. But here, look at this. Watch this little piece of magic. I know you like magic, Mike.
I do.
Watch my magic. Look at this. Look what I found.
Oh yes.
You know I had to put this up.
I was gonna plug that today.
Well, Mike, when I told him who you were, Chip, and
Mhm.
he says, "Oh, he authored a book," and I said, "Oh, he sure did." But this is I was going to hold it up. I got it right here because I got one sent to me for a Christmas present.
Mhm.
I just ordered mine yesterday.
Did you
Oh,
order
thank
it?
you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, this is
That's
right
kind
here.
of you. Yeah.
Yeah. And in full disclosure, I don't know if there's a reflection on that. Full disclosure, you're going to notice that there's no, the binding is fully intact here, which you know what that means. But I'll get around to it.
It's
I'll
a
read
good.
it someday. I
It's a
love
good
having it.
place to put your coffee cup on, but
I
but you're right on. Going back to the flavor issue, you're right on there. I think in terms of that paradigm.
I gotta show everybody this gift box you made me make.
Yeah.
This is it right here, and I got little pouches in the back. I got a whole slideshow I put in here.
Mhm.
There it is, right there.
Yep.
So that's a gift box. This is all handmade, out of wood, and then I have 2 bottles, and I hand make the pouches there, and it has, I I put that. You got to go through so many steps. It's so detailed, right? But I made the little pouches and I put the little stamp on there. There's a little company logo. So, and then I have the dragon wafer. I figured I'd pop one of those in as a free sample.
Well, certainly there's an art component to your beverage, and you followed through in terms of the packaging. It's really a work of art. The other thing I have some questions on, guys, is I had a pencil here and it's on the floor. Hold on one second here.
While he's doing that,
We are real. We're real people. Oh no, there's a pause. He's going to put up my high school picture.
No. I'm going to plug my book.
Here we go.
You're going to email me a picture of your book so I can put it in there.
That sounds good. It's A New Dawn.
What's the name?
A New Dawn, and it's a weekly devotional available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com.
Really? Barnes and Noble.
We've all plugged our book. You got a book too, Tracy. You should plug it.
Mine is a silly book. Book. Chip, is yours in Barnes and Noble too?
I think it's everywhere.
I found it on Amazon.com real easy.
Yeah. It's pretty much everywhere. So bookstores and so forth. But
look at these guys are really good. I just did a silly book.
No such thing. No such thing.
Some people have told me it was inspiring. They said, you have a lot of strength and courage and stuff. What I did is I had a situation. One of these days I'll go in depth on it, because it is important. And but I was told I was never going to be able to walk again. And, I am. I mean, I could stand up right now and do it, but then I'll be like tall in a picture. But, and so I was building a tiny house and I just kind of wrote a tiny little thing about what was going on there. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But, what's important is during that time frame is when the beverage came to exist in my life. That's when the beverage was realized. And that's why I keep coming back to that, because that's an important time in my life. I mean, you have your daily devotional book there, Mike. And, I said, we're not going to get a ton of religious here, but I don't think you've ever seen anybody praying as hard and long and whatever as I did in that time frame. So that we'll get over to that. So Chip, you had another question. Did you find your pencil?
Yeah, I did. I found my pencil, and
we don't know.
I'm looking at your
professional here. I love this.
I'm looking.
Did you get your coffee?
I'm looking at your. I had mine this morning.
No, you got to bring your coffee. I put in there. See, here's my cup. You got to show off your cup.
Well, I am not surprised.
Can you read that?
Don't argue. They're always right. I think that's you. I think that is you.
Cheers, people.
Cheers.
Every Tuesday.
You saw me squirming around a minute ago. While you're drinking your coffee, I spilled mine all over my lap and my floor. You're lucky.
Anyway.
Lucky I have self-control, or we would have had to go back and edit and put this on a 10-second time delay.
So
we're just real people, hon. We're having fun, and we're talking about fruit and coffee and
books and
everything. And we talk about life, and I want to enjoy it. Go ahead. You got your pencil. All right.
Well, I got my pencil.
And
we've been talking about your product as a beverage, which it is. And this pencil,
it actually is. Yeah, you can drink it.
It is. It's a beverage. So this pencil has different functions. Its primary function is to write. It has a secondary function. It's got an eraser on it, so you can erase stuff. And it has a tertiary function, perhaps, an advertisement on it. So what I'm trying to point out is that products have more than one use. So your primary use of your product is a beverage. That's what you're calling it. But what other uses are there for that product?
Oh, you mean besides like just being healthy?
Well, no, just being a
being healthy. But what other kind of? I think I know what you're talking about. I think I have an answer.
Okay. So what other things could that be used for other than just to drink as a beverage?
All right. Well, let me pull the sleeves up here.
And I'll give you a hint. Flavor. Okay. So it is a flavor. What can you do with that flavor?
Okay. So I did this the other day too. I'll hold this up. How can you see that? You can't really see that. Man, I worked so hard to get that company logo etched on. I hand etched that. That's hand etched, people.
Mm-hmm.
I do that in my hand. And then you put the beverage in. And I said, well, just put this on your breakfast table. Have it for breakfast with a little muffin or something, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What else can you, but what else? I see what you're saying here. What else can you do with this? And I've thought about that. I actually have numerous ad campaigns that I came up with. And I'm going to be putting it out there because the first thing I had a question about, even myself, is if I give this to a bartender, you see where I'm going, because I'm actually a licensed bartender. I went to I don't know how if I want to put this on the spot here, but a very special person and I together took a bartending class, and we got licensed as a bartender at Boston Bartenders College. Yeah. Excuse me. Boy, I should have muted for that. That's what the mute button is for. I'll learn. So what I was wondering, if I give this to a bartender,
Mm-hmm.
what can they do with that? What are they going to mix it with? And what kind of flavors, and I was talking to someone about this. I said, if you go down to Florida on spring break, I don't know. I never did. I lived in Florida for a while though. People used to come down for spring break. And the bartenders down there, they love inventing things, with the mixes and the shots and everything else like that.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be a fun thing is to give out some. I have 1,000 bottles of free samples. I'm glad I got that in here, because I have 1,000 bottles of free samples. Send me a message. I'm going to send you a sample. And all I ask is either do a live taste testing, if you can hear. We'll get you on the podcast here, and we can do it right on your cell phone. It's so easy, so easy, so easy. And just taste it, because we want to see what do you think it tastes like, and we've even told you what the ingredients are, it doesn't matter, because my stepsister, she tasted it. She knows what the ingredients are, and she still can't identify the flavor. So it doesn't matter if I tell you. And if you are a bartender and you're doing the mixology, right? If you want to play around with this and you want to, I challenge anybody to try and make a mixed drink out of this. And what are you going to mix it with, and come up with a good recipe and stuff like that? I mean, we'll do a competition or a challenge. I thought that'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
Mike and I were talking about drinking yesterday.
We had a little hiccup yesterday.
No. We're not going to go there. But anyway, vodka. Vodka comes peach, orange, lime, pear, and ginger, strawberry, lemongrass, etc. So vanilla. Did you say vanilla?
Yep.
Yeah. Vanilla. I mean, yeah. So there you go. I mean, so that's one other use. So I was going to try to play a little game with you guys. So if I gave you 15 seconds.
No, wait a second. Do we get a prize? What's
a free bottle of your beverage?
For myself. I get to crack it open and drink it. Yeah. I do actually have a prize. I'm going to do a giveaway here. I put this here. I didn't know if I could use it or not.
Well, I was going to suggest if some of the listeners have an idea how
ask
this
me
product,
why. One of these things. You got to ask me why I'm holding a donkey here.
Well, I know.
Go ahead and play your game.
So
if Mike wins, I got to send him a donkey.
The comedian in me has so many comments in the back of my mind right now, Tracy.
I know. I told you we're gonna have fun here.
Well, are you talking about turning the donkey around? No, that's okay.
Oh no, never mind. Tracy will slap me across the Ethernet.
Okay, so in 15 seconds,
you do have to keep this G-rated, Mike, if that's what you're.
Mm-hmm.
in 15 seconds, how many other uses can you think of? So I'm going to look at my watch here. Go.
I mean, you're talking about the flavor between me and Mike, or is it just
your product? Me? How can that product? Well, both of you can chime in. So we'll start over again. But what you're going to do, you just mentioned one use. You just mentioned one use, and that is as an additive to an alcoholic drink. What are some other uses?
Like they make what's the name of the you gotta help me, Mike, okay? Because he's gonna time us how many can we get up.
Well,
So
15. You got 15 seconds. So go.
the tomato juice. What's that called? Use this instead of
V8?
tomato juice. No, what's the name of the drink with the tomato juice and the vodka and with the sauce?
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary. Okay, you try. I don't want to say bloody Alexismana. That sounds awful.
Well, that's an alcoholic drink, and I think your
Bloody
time
Mary.
is.
Okay, so
you're just-
the drink.
Rum and fruit.
I like that one.
yeah.
That's good.
You know
I
what
like
I was
that.
thinking? I was wondering if you actually take the product and you put it into. I know a lot of people make smoothies,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they're peeling and they're doing everything.
Yeah.
Wouldn't this kickstart off their smoothie? Put that in
Yep.
there, and then
And make it healthy on top of that.
make a milkshake.
Yeah. If
Make a
anybody's
milkshake.
watching
Put
this,
the ice cream in and put this in for flavor. You are getting. Oh wow, that's a good one.
I got a bunch of questions.
Sorry, I got to put this donkey.
you
away
just hit the
because
nail on the head, I
Mike
think.
is being severely distracted here.
No, I'm looking for my dog.
Oh, so
I know, because we're going to have to wrap it up here in a minute.
So there's a number of uses. I mean, I'm thinking baking, Jello. I mean, it's maybe some of your listeners can come up with some ideas in terms of how you can use the product. And you just mentioned something about ice
How
cream.
about a homemade vinaigrette?
Absolutely. I keep a bottle of. Yeah, absolutely.
As a base, you're talking about using it as a base flavoring for other
Absolutely.
things.
For a vinaigrette.
Because you
Absolutely.
can just like if you use tomato juice, you know how you get it in the little cans? Cans, not much bigger. And use it as a base flavor.
Yeah.
Anywhere you'd use.
That's it. That is it. It's got
I love
a
that.
number of different uses because of the flavor. That's the connection. Yeah. And I was going to ask you, if you don't have time now, maybe next time, could you make this into a concentrate? And the other thing I'd like to explore with you guys is Mike, you were talking about the liquid being absorbed into your system more efficiently than solids. There's another part of this product that we haven't even talked about, and that is the solids. How can those be used? And I have a whole bunch of questions about you guys about nutrition in the solids. Mm-hmm. You were talking about the absorption rates, also the dragon wafers.
That in there.
So there's a ton of other uses. I mentioned to Tracy, I said, up here in Nova Scotia, we're kind of in a time warp. So everyone does canning. They do their own baking. This fall, you'll see 15 kilo bags of flour, canning jars in all the aisles of all the stores. So what are the uses also of the solid product?
It's right here.
Can you make those into a preserve, for example? But anyway, that's a whole
I'm not selling it. Yeah, that's part of the patent, and that's there because the patent it's twofold. I have we'll get into this because we don't have time for this right now. I'm sorry, we got to wrap this up. I know we're all on a time crunch here. However, we will come back to that next time. But I put this. There's a solid and a liquid. I have a unique processing, and that's why it's patentable. Because the process itself, it's not like what you think. I know they call it mush, and I'm just going to say it's not a mush. There's things done with intention that separate me from how everyone else is doing it. Mm-hmm. That's the patentable part. And this is the solid. I put as a pure. I turn it into a puree. There's another step, and I make a puree out of it. And I thought about putting it in a jar and sitting it there, but then I did the dragon wafers. So in the middle of the two dragon wafers here, it's filled. It's a puree filling. So you're actually eating the beverage. So it's a way to eat it. So if you don't want the beverage, you don't want to drink it, you like your tomato, you like whatever. But this here, and it's so simple. So I just put them 5 in a box. They're $4.49. And once I get the packaging finalized, I'll be able to ship those out. But hopefully that answers that. As far as what am I doing with a solid? I'm not throwing anything away.
But there may be some other
and you
potential
get just
uses.
as much health benefit out of the dragon wafers and then some because of the ingredients that the wafers are made out of. There's even additional. So you get 2 super fruits. You got mulberry, blueberry, plus a bunch of other stuff. There's resveratrol. There's anthocyanins. I mean, there's such super fruits that I can sit here and go on for about 2.5 days and tell you about all the benefits of this.
Just the
first
resveratrol alone
beverage.
is huge.
Yes. And you get it in the mulberry and the blueberry in exponential. You have,
And for those that don't know, resveratrol is the part of red wine that actually makes wine healthy. If you,
Do you know
but
what I
in order to
learned?
get the amount of resveratrol that is in the product, you'd have to drink a ton of wine.
No. Do you know what I learned at Cornell? People think they're getting resveratrol from their wine. Ask me right now, are they really getting it? Resveratrol comes from grapes, right? And huge. And that's what they say that you're going to get that in the wine. Ask me if they're actually getting it. You know what I learned in Cornell? 0. And I hate to burst everybody's bubble, on that one, but kind of 0. Because of the way, because of the processing. You're not getting the
I have to quit drinking wine now?
Well, Mike, I got a little answer here for you. I got the solution.
Can I put that in my wine?
Okay.
There we
I'm
go.
gonna end with this, and then we got to get out of here because we got to get out. And I thought 45 minutes was going to be a cap because otherwise we're going too long. Yeah. Someone did ask me because they say, "Well, it's a beverage from the Bible. Is it a wine?" And I don't know. We're going to get into definitions of wine and nuances of translations and stuff like that. We can go on for a year on that. But to our modern day, right? Because this comes from antiquity originally. Modern day, we say, can you make wine out of it? I said, well, I can, but the licensing and the regulation and everything to go through that. Maybe so. One day, maybe I'll get to that. But it's so unimportant to me because what's important is the actual fruit and the health benefits, and to get this out there. And it's for anyone. If you're on a full-fledged plant-based diet and you cut out meat completely, you still eat fruit. That's one of your primary sources, right? So I want to get this to you. And if you eat meat, you need this because it's going to help you clean everything out. Fruit is a universal food. Yep. Universal. You can go around the globe, and a lot of my stuff is sourced internationally. I bring it in and got a lot of secrets. But it's a universal food. And it's something that everyone can gather around the table and enjoy together. So I got to thank you guys both for coming on today.
Thank you. I'm learning stuff every time I watch you guys, so it's great.
Well, I'm sorry about the wine. Sorry about your wine, people. But I told you I got to the solution here. So Chip, I really want to thank you for coming on. I fixed the place up for you. Thank you. My little background here and put some color into our names here. I don't know. We'll get there. I'm learning this. And I learned how to put the photos in. I got to get a copy of your book, Mike. Chip, I invite you to come back as often as you want. I hope you can be one of our regular co-hosts here. And I learned I can get about 12 people in here. So I don't know.
Hey, Tracy, next time we have Chip on, you're going to have to get a picture of that particular house in Saginaw. Do you know the one I'm talking about on the golf course?
I'll send you a note and you tell me the number and I'll do that.
All right. Sounds good.
I'll do that. I know where it is.
I think Chip would enjoy it.
I do mine, but they tore it down. They demoed it. I took a picture before they did, but they said mine was haunted. No one would live in it anymore.
This one is whimsical.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they call it. I'll just spill the beans a little bit. They call it the Seuss House in Saginaw on Swan Valley.
Okay, so we've got about a minute or two left here.
Yeah, it looks it looks like it was directly out of one of the illustrations.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, we're not going to get into anything else on that because I see Chip over there. He's blushing already. So, but I'll get a picture of that. You can play around with that and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
you guys, you're so awesome. I wouldn't want to do this without you. I thank you
Well,
so much for coming in here, and
well, thank
you
you
know,
for the invite, and you guys stay well, and we'll see you again
okay.
soon.
You do the
Well,
same.
hopefully, we'll do this regular, probably next
Okay.
Tuesday.
All
All
right.
right. Have a
Be
good
good.
one, guys. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.
Good. See ya.